Eamon Khan here for Seconds Out. Pleasure to be joined by Dillian White. Dean, I imagine that you would probably want to be speaking to me under different circumstances with a win in the Dillian White ledger, but commiserations, of course, after last night, Moses Tama getting the win by KO. Just what your thoughts on last night as a whole?
Do you know what? Let me first pick up my sponsor, LondonDeliveryNetwork.com. Hit up those guys. No deliveries, too big or small. Those guys sponsored us to get out here. Big up them, love. Fuck. You know, it's always going to be a tall order, man. Big up Itauma. I always said, I've had maximum respect for him. Always a pleasure when I meet him. Very polite, and he even come up to me as well, saying, thanks, for being just a true kid, and not saying too much, negative stuff. But it's not needed. It's a fight. It's a sport. It's a boxing. As you mature and you understand the game a little bit, you conduct yourself in a certain way. I've took the defeat gracefully, and Dillian should also. The only thing is just I just feel we didn't get to see Dillian he didn't get a chance to perform. I'd say maybe, that's testament to Moses. He pounced on him and he didn't give him a chance really. The shot, there was two shots which were to the back of the head anyway. But look, this is boxing. Defend yourself. I said this from the beginning. Every single interview I've done, early is going to be paramount. Patience, defensively sound and aware. And, I think he would, for me, I felt like the distance could have been controlled a lot better early, especially. He was too close early, rolling shots, and that's how he got clipped on the back of the head. Once he rolled and he come up and he got caught as he just came up to the top of the head, and the equilibrium went from there. You just never recovered. But I just felt like it was too early to be getting caught into trying. You know what I mean? I don't know. Look, even saying, it's easy talking from outside, and it is. Unfortunately, there's called analysts or critiques or opinions, and that's what we have. Credit to him, he's gone in there, and like many others have, years after years, and given us great fights and great nights. Many people are asking the question, what is there left for Dillian? I don't know what the question is and what's left for Dillian. I'm sure he wants to carry on because that's him and his nature. People are saying, he should retire. Yet again, that's their opinion. But it's a crushing first round defeat. You know what I mean? And obviously, now that will always be on your legacy. 3 years out the ring, inactivity, having those kind of fights is always going to be a tough task to go and fight someone who's been. What has he had? Was it 10 fights in 1 year? He's super active and super sharp, and it showed.
A lot to unpack there. I want to start off with in terms of Dillian White, given the full effect of his performance as much as he could coming into this week, irrespective of activity and level of competition. There was the suggestion that Dillian came in with an injury to his leg. Can you shed any light as to what that situation is?
No, definitely not gonna get into any of that. Whoever comes and talks about that in their time, that's great for them. But I just want to credit Moses, man. He's a talent. And like I said, if he wins and he does what he's meant to do, we got to applaud him. You know what I mean? We don't want to take anything away from him and start talking about this or that. Do you get me? So, whoever wants to talk about any other rumours, what they have and things down the line, that's up to them. But for me, credit to this young man. He's come and he's, punched his way into the record books because no one's done that to Dillian White, you know what I mean? And he's fought at the top level. We understand this isn't the Dillian White of a few years back, but still, Dillian's known for his resilience, his durability, and him, you know what I mean? So, look, I don't know. We just need to see Moses in with someone who can give him the rounds. And you know what? We saw Hergovich yesterday in David Adelaide. Tough fight. And they took a lot of punishment. It would be interesting to see him in with someone like him. But yeah, Dillian's always bouncing back. He was in great shape, lost a lot of weight. But sometimes that is a factor as well when your punch resistance goes, sometimes when you lose too much weight as well. I don't know. Look, I'm not trying to get into any excuse or anything. So big up those guys and, God willing, Dillian comes again.
When you first saw it, do you feel that Dillian should have been given the chance to try and continue?
No. I think that was a great stoppage. I think it would have been even more destructive and it would have probably been more everlasting. I don't think he took much damage in it. It was just unstable on his foot. Once you stumble and step back like that, it's always going to be the ref's job to defend you when you can't defend yourself. And look, it weren't working out for him. It was a bad night at the office, and it would have got even worse. I know worse is not a word, you guys. I know you probably say something about that, but it would just not have ended. I think it was a great stoppage.
Buddy had suggested that Dillian apologised in the changing room afterwards for his performance. Is that what happened, and what was your reaction to that apology?
I don't think there was nothing to apologise for. A couple of lads said, there's nothing to apologise for. But look, he's obviously probably feeling like he's let the guys down. He didn't get to represent the guys. Everyone's come here to support and get behind him, and he's probably just feeling like he didn't get to, show the true side of him or what he can do. And I was in the changing room and I was just trying to say, look, well, maybe, we could have done this, we could have done this. And he's like, it's obviously easier saying stuff than, saying it from the outside. And I said, it's true. But I felt like Moses came in and whatever you was doing, there was errors, whatever you was doing, because he said it after. You made the same mistake a few times and he pounced on that. So clearly, he saw the opening and went for it, seized it immediately. And obviously the whispers, like you're saying, people were whispering about injuries. So that was probably another impacting factor where they thought, you know what, we're going to test the waters early to see if we can get him out of there because of those rumours. And, that came to fruition.
As his friend, would you like to see him continue?
Family, blood, brother. I don't know. Do you know what I mean?
What makes you say yes, continue? What makes you say no, don't continue?
Because I have to look out for my bro. I got to kind of look out for him and his safety. He's got kids. We've got family. We've got, he's got a health. He's getting on. So, we wouldn't want to continue to. He didn't take the greatest of punishment, but look, at 37, 38, sometimes some guys are hanging up the boots earlier. Some guys are hanging up around now. Derek is, still battling in. He's tough as old boots. But, I mean, look, I don't know. He's got to go away and figure that out. Do you know what I mean? But, yeah, I don't know, man. I don't want to answer. I just don't want to see any more of these kind of grueling battles where it ends in this fashion, I guess.
From a Moses Itauma perspective, who would you like to see him in with next to take him those rounds and see if he is what people are talking him up to be?
Moses shouldn't continue to be rushed. I think he doesn't beat Usyk though. That's the grandmaster of all masters, I guess. So, and he's a southpaw equally. The speed is the one that's going to affect a lot of people, and he's going to be dangerous to all of those people because of that speed. But Usyk is the grand wizard, man. You know what I mean? He makes those adjustments where people can't make those adjustments, and now he's settled into the heavyweight division. Very, very good, strong. So I think they need to stay away from Usyk. They can fight other guys, continue to build, continue to grow, get some rounds, and then he'll probably continue and dominate for some time potentially while he's got that speed.
How about Joe Parker and Ajit Cabello?
Yeah, Cabello is right up there with Joseph Parker as one of the best top guys right now. Personally, he can box and move very, very well. So I think that footwork and movement is going to be quite dangerous. I think he's just a little bit down the line. I think he's a little bit down the line, really, Cabello. I think Parker is another one. I think personally he should get a Hrgovic fight to maybe see if he can get some rounds. Those kind of guys and see where he's at. Maybe David looked quite tough as well yesterday. David looked like he was durable, can take a punch, can dish. He didn't let his hands go a lot, but he still was durable, managed to get the distance and should grow invaluable from that. Maybe he can fight David Adelaide. I don't know. Lawrence Okoli, he's a heavyweight now. He's looking for fights. So I think that's an interesting fight, actually. Lawrence Okoli and Moses.
Okay, Dean, as your drinks arrive and you have to refresh yourself, can I just ask you, what would you like to leave it on?
Just, big up the fans for always being behind Team White, Dillian White. And, big up Moses, man. Big up the team. Big up, they're doing great stuff. And, I'll get behind them and watch them grow and see how far he actually can grow and how long he can reign once he does. I think Frank Warren's done and France has done a tremendous job with him, and got him these fights and got him to this position. Great matchmaking, great timing. Timing is everything. They pick the right fights at the right time, and they saw that Dillian was the wounded animal and inactivity, and they picked him at the right time, and they got a great scalp. So they can brag, and now they got bragging rights to say, no one's ever done this to Dillian White. So that's good bragging rights to say, look, he's done this with this kid or this kid. And another one who's quite durable, Jermaine Franklin would be good as well to see. I think that'd be he's durable, and that'd be good to see how he performs with him. But I'm saying that, big up everyone, big up the Black Box Global team as always, and just follow the Black Box journey, man. Appreciate it.
Dean, pleasure. Thank you so much.
Pleasure. Thanks very much, man.